God is tender love. The joy that we need in life, we can experience when we know that we are loved. And to know this about God is the most important thing. All God can do is love. If I told you you could have one wish and you would have that wish come true, you could have it, what would you want? Would you want to win the lottery? Maybe you'd want $1 million. Maybe a big house. In the Bible, in the first book of Kings, you'll find this story in the 3rd chapter. King Solomon is speaking with God. And God says to King Solomon, you can have one thing. I will give it to you. What is it? What do you want? And in this story we read that even God was surprised by King Solomon's response. King Solomon said to God, what I want, the one thing I want is wisdom to guide the people. And to do that, I need to know the difference between good and evil. Solomon didn't want riches, not really. What he wanted was the ability to make good decisions, because he knew that if he could make good decisions, he would then have a good life. We want a good life too. We need to learn how to make good decisions. To make good decisions requires that we really do know the difference between good and evil in situations. We may say to ourselves, oh, that's easy. I know the difference between good and evil. That's not hard at all. Actually, sometimes it really is. It's not always easy to know the difference, and we need help. We need help from God. St. Paul, in the 8th chapter of his letter to the Romans, he explains that we do have the help we need. He writes, the Spirit knows our weaknesses and helps us. The Holy Spirit can help us know the difference between good and evil in a situation, and helps us to make the best decisions for our lives. What we then need to do is pray. We can do that, but it requires something so difficult. We need to be quiet. We need to be quiet to listen. That's so hard to do. It is so hard to be quiet instead of speaking. But when we do quiet our mind and our hearts, we can listen to the voice of the Holy Spirit within us. Jesus was the best teacher about how to make good decisions. In the 13th chapter of St. Matthew, he tells this story. He tells about a group of people who go out to the sea to go catch fish. And they throw out nets, and they catch so many kinds of fish. Some of these fish were good for eating, and others not. And Jesus said they sat down and they separated these fish. The good fish they put in a basket. The bad fish they threw out. Jesus wasn't really talking about fish. We need to sit down too. we need to sit down to separate our thoughts. We need to separate the good thoughts from the bad thoughts. And we need God's help through the Holy Spirit to do this. And when we do this, with the help of the Holy Spirit, then we are able to make good decisions. You don't really want riches, not really. What you really want is to be happy. To be happy is the one thing we all want. To be happy, then, we just need to make those good decisions. Do those things I talked about. Do those things, and you will be able to make the good decisions you want to make. And indeed, you will find in your heart, in your mind, in your whole life, the happiness you desire.